Hey, what's up, guys? Ace Chapman here. I wanted to make a quick video. I actually got a meeting coming up in like 10 minutes that I gotta go down to with some people that are creating a fund. They've already done one fund. It was a Reg A fund and raised 8 figures. Now, Reg A is an interesting new space. It's kind of, it leverages some of the crowdfunding stuff that you may have heard about in the past, and now they're looking to get into the private equity space and kind of do some consulting with them. So that should be interesting because it's something that I'm curious about. I don't know if I'll go that route at any point, but it's interesting to follow and see what's going on with some of these newer types of funds that you can raise. And of course, you guys will be able to learn from what I get access to. So excited about that. They also did some neat things when it came to social media that will be interesting to dig into as well. So the video, however, is the result of some things that happened today. So, I land, I run to the store, grabbing a couple of things, and I run into a guy, and I recognize him. He waves at me. I'm like, I don't know really who it is. I just wave and kind of keep it moving. Well, he finds me and comes up to me and introduces himself. It's a guy that does some really interesting stuff in the crypto space, but he's from Russia. And we're talking about doing some deals, and we met a while back. It's like, I still want to do some deals with you. So let's send me some stuff. Let's figure out we can do some stuff. And so we're talking through that. I'm talking about my program and how it works if he wants to join that. And then we start talking about the type of deals that he should do. And I'm like, man, you speak Russian. There is a really great arbitrage to be had by buying deals overseas. So a lot of times people are like, man, you spend so much time overseas. And part of that is for enjoyment, but part of that is just the fact that the very best opportunities are overseas now, because you have everybody's competing for all the deals in the US. And especially when it comes to internet businesses, just there aren't a lot of buyers in these other countries, and there's sometimes language barriers that can allow you to buy a deal at a great price. So we bought a business out of Moscow from a guy who barely spoke any English. We were able to make it through and close the deal, but we got that business at a super low multiple, and the one multiples when a lot of things were selling at 2.5, 3. So I'm telling him, like, dude, let's leverage the fact that you speak Russian and go do some Russian deals. So I'm talking about that. And it's funny that I ran into him because literally 3 hours later, a little bit before this, I was on a conference call. We're buying a SaaS business from some guys out in Eastern Europe. And, once again, they don't speak hardly any English. They speak, I say hardly any. They speak great English, but it's it's tough to speak business. If you don't speak the language, like I speak some Spanish, but I'm not exactly negotiating deals in Spanish. If any of you guys know, in Eastern Europe, they have the most talented developers in the world right now. I haven't dealt with Chinese developers or anything like that, but when it comes to like high quality development, they're definitely kicking our butts because we don't want to teach people science and technology and have high standards. We want everybody to get an easy diploma, and we got those issues. And then the super smart people from other countries that want to come here and could help us do more amazing stuff. We don't want to let those people in either. So we want to get dumber and not let smart people in, but still have the same quality of life. Don't know how that's going to work long term, which is another reason I'm investing internationally. But back to the point at hand, which still is a similar point. So I wanted to make this video because yesterday I talked about those different assets, different types of commodities that are kind of overlooked. And I look at everything that's in my brain as a commodity that can be exchanged for funds, or assets that can be exchanged for funds. And you want to look at what are the things that people aren't really valuing. And I think one of those, especially in the US, is languages. We just don't value learning other languages. Now, my friends that are in Europe, it's just standard that you're going to have 3 languages. And the reason that is so valuable and undervalued is that, especially in our space, the fact that you can go to a country that's even right next door, like Mexico, and buy a deal that's cheaper than the multiples if you're buying it from somebody who only speaks Spanish, and none of the other people that you're competing with on deals can speak Spanish. You just are taking advantage of arbitrage. And so if you can buy that deal for a 2 multiple, you speaking, Russian in the case of that deal, or me speaking Czech in the case of this deal that we're getting at a great multiple, literally adds up to a specific dollar amount. So when I'm talking about these things, it's a literal dollar amount. If you're buying $1 million deal, and instead of buying it at a 3.5 multiple, you're buying it at a 2.5 or 2 multiple because you can connect with that person, that represents $300,000 in one deal. And those are the kind of things that I'm seeing as I'm working with people that are all over. So I love when, run into that. I've got clients that are literally all over the world, sometimes just culturally. When you've got somebody who's in New Zealand and they just connect culturally. But the other one that I wanted to add to that list, I wanted to make this little addendum and say that language, especially here in the US, we do not value that enough, because it literally, as a deal maker, it turns into money. So hope that's valuable for you guys. I know going out and learning a language isn't something that could just be instantly done. But if there's a country that you feel like, man, I can do a lot of deals here, something to think about.